You said women disagree that women have equal rights to men. It was also Hannah. It was Tierra.
We're ignoring mine now, remember?
Oh, I guess.
Ignore mine.
It was
Hannah,
yeah,
so,
no, I'm just like...
quick question for those of you who did say you disagree that women have equal rights to men. What rights do men
Before even... Do you think that men and women have equal rights?
Currently, not always. I don't know.
What do you mean by that?
I don't know. Women aren't always treated fair today. I mean, men neither. But like, I don't know. I don't think. I mean, I think we've come a long way for sure. But like, you know what I mean? So.
What would you say that? What are some rights that women have that men have that women don't have?
So I'm pretty sure in some places, you know, men still get higher pay than women. That's pretty shitty. You know what I ask me? We work just as hard and look better while we do it. You know what I mean?
Okay. So hold on. I want to be clear. You think that companies are paying men the same exact with the same exact qualifications, with the same exact work ethic, with the same exact experience, everything all being equal.
Everything's same, just gender
they
different.
paying them just more because they have a penis.
Yeah, I'm not just guessing at that. Like, I know I've like heard many people speak on this, you know, online and stuff like that, and research. I hear people literally like trying to fight about this. You know what I mean? Like, fight for women's equal rights and stuff. Like, I should probably do better research on that.
Yeah.
Get a little more educated on it. But like, yeah, man. Like, I feel like we could do a little bit better.
Okay, we're gonna talk about that because that is absolutely not true.
What? Okay.
Because if you just think about it, just logically speaking, if
you in politics?
Huh?
Are you in politics?
What does that mean?
I don't know. I was like, you know this?
Fuck?
How do you know this information?
No, because just think about it logically. If I was an employer, right, and I was hiring people, and they work exactly the same hours, had exactly the same experience, had exactly the same results, I would just hire women. I would never hire men.
Bro, same. You know, I should let people know that. You know what I mean? Listen, we can ask Siri right now. Like, are there situations where women get paid less than men? Okay.
I want to see what happens. Let's see.
Hey, Siri, are women being paid less in work positions than men still today? Gender pay gap in U.S. hasn't changed much in 2 decades. Okay. Women earn less than men in all occupations.
No.
What you need to know about the gender wage gap. Women are paid less than men.
No. So
you know what I'm saying?
What you're doing is just looking at the title and not actually diving deep into why women... No. We're going to get there. We're going to go there. But right now we're just scratching the surface.
Cool.
A lot of times what they do is just they get most of everybody, meaning like all men and all women. They don't account for hours worked. They don't account for experience, etc., etc. They don't account for a lot of these things. So we're going to talk about it. But let's talk about it.
When I go home tonight, I'm going to do my research too. We're going to reconvene on this.
We're going to get it.
Yeah.
So, I don't think that the United States is the only country that exists, and that's only part of the female population. So when we're talking about women's rights, it has to encompass the entire world.
Well, what about the United States?
Well, there's still...
Oh, and before they continue and give you any ideas, is there anything else besides the wage gap thing?
You know, I'm no Hollywood actress, but I do also, you know. Okay, so I'm getting here. Let me finish. I'm getting somewhere. So, you know, I hear a lot of stories about women who, I mean, a similar, I guess, situation, but difference in being like, it's not related to the pay, but like, you know, women having to, and I guess there are some men too, like, you know, I've heard Disney stars that had to like do certain things, or like there's more expected of them, if you know what I'm saying, in trying to get an acting job. Like, you can't just go and apply for the part and like, you know, audition for the part and just, okay, she did great, let's hire her, you know. Harvey Weinstein, you know what I mean? There are a lot of stuff to it. I know, like, not to get like super dark and deep, but there are
you don't gotta get super dark, but I think that goes for anything.
Like you said,
because
like,
Diddy did this.
I mean, you asked
allegedly.
if there was another.
Hold on, I'm talking to the camera real quick. Allegedly, because I threw out Diddy's name out there. Allegedly, I'm trying to get super.
Allegedly.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
This is all. I'm just.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Finish what you're saying.
Yeah, you know, I just feel like that's, and I could be wrong. I haven't looked into it, you know, recently in the past couple years, but over several years, couple years ago plus, I've heard a lot of stories about women that had to go through a lot more than maybe men, and not to discredit men for what they've had to go through, actors and stuff, to get the parts that they have, but like a lot of celebrities, like, I could be wrong, but like J-Lo, I could be wrong. I want to say that I heard something about her having, I don't know, really high up there celebrities with big names now that had to kind of do.
So your argument is they had to do extracurricular activities to
from
get
what
their
I've
parts.
heard.
To get the parts.
Yeah.
I would argue that men would have had to as well. It just would be a different extra.
They probably did too.
Yeah, it would just be a different extracurricular activity.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It depends on your preference.
Yeah. Not just sexually, but I mean like in other aspects as well, not just sexually.
Right.
All right.
Cool. Let's run it.
But hold on, I want to be clear.
Okay.
All right. Allegedly.
Like female genital is still something that's practiced even here in the United States.
It's illegal.
It's still practiced though. It's kind of one of those things.
Well,
hold on. What did she talk? I'm sorry, I missed that. Genital what?
I think she said, hold on.
Even here in the United
States, make sure.
Like
understand.
Female genital is still something that's practiced even here in the United States.
It's illegal.
It's still practiced though. It's kind of one of those things.
Well, I don't know if this. Can I just? I'm going to cut you off just to save you a little bit here. I don't think you want to argue circumcision on this one. I think you're going to have. This is not going to be a productive argument for you, but.
Well, I'm just saying that there's lots of things that we could do better.
Yeah. What else is when it comes to men though? When it comes to genital, that's also practiced, right? Mm-hmm. The difference is one's legal, one's not.
Well, one provides like a cleanly. I don't have any viewpoint on whether or not a baby boy should be circumcised or not. Like that's totally up to, I guess, like parents, the father. Honestly, because I don't.
It's up to the father. I
would say it's up to the father because I don't have that appendage.
What if it's a single mother? She makes the determination, right?
Parent.
I think like most hospitals like just standardly do it, right?
Mom doesn't have a say.
Can the reason why I say female genital is different is because a lot of times they also remove part of the clitoris, which takes away feeling and stimulation.
Same thing for this is extremely rare. I never heard this. I heard that extremely rare. There's perhaps this is extremely rare occurrence in the United States.
So basically he asked her the same question that I asked you, and then one of her arguments was that female mutilation. I don't know why they can't say that word on
I don't know if that's
YouTube. But and then circumcision is from men as well, so that's just a bad argument altogether.
Yeah, I was like, her point is.
What I was saying was not the United States. Mm-hmm. I was saying
I can't have a debate with you about like Ethiopia. I don't know. Yeah. So we're gonna have to talk about the United States. And if your position is men and women have equal rights in the United States, I can just move on. But you did cite to even in the United States, female genital.
There are things
that is outlawed. It is outlawed. Male genital is not. So I don't think you have a very compelling argument.
Well, I wasn't saying that. What I was trying to say.
I'm just trying to move things along because the prompt is women have equal rights to men. You disagree. The first thing you cited to was something that in actuality men don't have a right to bodily autonomy when it comes to this, whereas women do. It's outlawed. Mm-hmm. Whereas like this is like wholesale.
You got something to say? Go ahead.
Yeah. So I think she's a little confused. I think what he's trying to say is it's against the law for that to happen to women, for them to have, I guess, female, version of mutilation, whatever circumcision. But it's legal depending on the, I guess, preference of parents for it to happen to men. So in my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, I guess it's less. Oh, that's interesting. So I guess we're saying that women have less. Our conversation here is women have less rights than men in that. But if you really think about it, what they're saying is like, oh, we've already said, okay, you can't do that to women, so I guess they have more of a like protection there than men. Ooh, okay. So
but this is the point of this entire conversation because a lot of times when women have these thought process and say stupid shit like mutilation, wage gap, etc., they don't actually dive deep into the they don't actually dive deep into the research of it and to be like, you know what, damn, I was wrong, they did this, etc., etc. So that's why these conversations are very
important. No, I'm always down to educate myself. I never want to say some things I don't know. Sure.
Done to like the vast majority of men in this country upon birth. So I don't think you have a very strong argument there.
Well, what I was initially saying was for the entire world as a worldview.
I've already said I can't.
We talk about United States.
I just think she's pretty. You know what I mean?
Talk about I have to.
In the United States, yeah, absolutely.
Wait, hold on. Did you call her stupid?
Do what, baby?
I'm sure that there is things.
She's confusing herself.
I'm sure that there is things that I am not remembering right at the moment.
All of it.
Not necessarily. I'm sure that there is.
Supposed to be on her side.
I mean, I am, but she making us all know.
On U.S. laws of gender inequality, probably would have something to say.
She's a bunch of big words at this point.
I know more of different atrocities that happen in the worldwide news. So I will concede to your point, I suppose.
Okay.
What I was initially saying though is
wait, do you concede, or are you just saying, well, there could be something that exists?
I'm not knowledgeable enough on that aspect of U.S. policies because a lot of times things are changing pretty quickly, and that's not something that I feel like I necessarily have like the best like argumentative point on. You're right.
So I think it was on another country.
How about you? You said women. You disagree that women have equal rights to men.
I was speaking more like in a general worldwide. You didn't specifically.
It did not say the United States.
Okay, so.
Okay, is there anything?
Like, girl.
Is there anything in the United States that you think, besides the wage gap, because that was your number one thing that you said, that men are not equal to women or women are not equal to men?
You know, I mean, just like she said, just like we just said, I mean, I'm actually confused on what she's talking about, but like we were just saying, like, I really hate to speak on anything that I'm not completely educated on. So, I mean, I'm glad we're having this conversation because it's honestly, like, encouraged me to go home and find out more about this. You know what I mean? Because, like, as far as I know, I thought at first
is to do that, though.
Girls had less, you know, like, were less, I don't know, taken care of than men, but...
What do you mean taken care of?
I mean, not necessarily taken care of, let me correct myself. I guess the lesser, more rights of women and men, like what our conversation is, you know? And I guess, I don't know, having this conversation has made me more curious about, like, how much or how little guys have, you know what I mean? In the sense of rights, you know, like, compared to us. So maybe I'm wrong, you know? And not necessarily siding with anyone, but, like, I don't know, as far as looking back on history and, like, we've always men... When it comes to race or like gender or whatever, it's always been like the male white individual always has more power. It's the man over the woman and the whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. According to history, you know, I felt like we've obviously, like she said, like I said, we've come a long way, but. I don't know. That's interesting. I definitely want to look.
Yeah, I think it's the fairest y'all have ever had it as women.
You said y'all got it good.
You know, y'all. I can name multiple things that women have that men don't have.
I mean, we're able to be president today. I know that's like a corny, typical, you know, general one, but it's like.
Don't get me started because I got a hot take.
I ain't even gonna get it.
I don't think women should be able to be president.
I didn't vote for Kamala for a reason, not because I'm like.
Hold on, I want to be clear with my position. Hold on, I want to be clear with my position.
I can talk about that.
Hold on, I want to be clear with my position before this get fucking clipped.
Right.
I don't believe a woman should be able to be president until women have to sign up for select service.
What? Okay, hold on. Select service.
So select service is when you were a man, you hit 18, you sign up for select service when you get your driver's license, etc. Right. It's a draft, basically.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Women don't have to get drafted. Not at all. Not at all.
If we want to be equal, I get what you're saying. If we want to be equal, let's all make. I get that, you know, and it's interesting. I feel that's an interesting point because
or something equivalent to that, or something equivalent to that, because I don't think. Obviously, women are not going to be. Yeah, exactly. That's my point.
Exactly.
I think most women are not going to, number one, want to join. Number two, definitely not going to be in front lines. We're not going to put them in front lines. No, it's not happening.
And theoretically.
So something equivalent to that would have to happen before I can be like, okay, cool.
And so I want to say real quick, you know, I commend anybody who wants to run for president or anybody who has the guts to like go to war, and I know that's kind of like broad, but like still, like I think about that all the time, and I be watching
fight in the war.
Like you gotta have some guts to be able to sign up to go give your life. You know what I mean? Risk your life like that, seriously. And majoritively, men are the ones. Seriously, I commend tremendously our troops, men and women. It takes some serious guts to do that. Like my dad was in Vietnam. Shout out to my dad. Seriously, big time. But I feel like. And obviously times are changing today, so there's like a lot of women, there's a lot of transgender people that are going into the... I think it doesn't matter what your gender is, I think it takes the degree of guts. You know what I mean? That's what it comes down to. And also when it comes down to being like president or something, I don't think, in my opinion, I get what you're saying, but like, I don't think it has anything to do with gender. I don't think it has anything to do with the popularity contest of, just for example, Trump and Kamala. It wasn't about who's more likable. It's about who can freaking do what we need to be done in this country. You know what I mean? Like,
I got you.
Boom. I'm gonna say that.
I got you.
Yeah, I mean,
I gotta say, for me, it is about gender. Until that equals out somehow. Yeah. It is about gender for me personally.
Yeah, I mean, again, like I see where you're coming from. Because I mean, I didn't vote for Kamala. You know, just because she's a female, you gotta be qualified.
Equal rights.
You know,
in the United States.
No comment.
No.
Not against anybody, but in general, whoever it is, you have to have you gotta be qualified, male or female.
That women do have equal rights in the United States compared to men.
For the most part.
Correct.
Same with you.
I guess it also depends on state. Because there's state laws and there's national laws. Like, for example, women's right to equal pay.
Let her cook.
That can be different.
That's a law.
She's out of ingredients.
Different. What I'm saying is that could be different from state to state versus national. But there's federal.
Yeah, I mean, there's
federal regulation.
Yeah,
there's federal minimum wage,
there's
and then
there's
state
judicial
minimum
too.
Wage. Like, there's I feel like tons of little niche things that aren't necessarily quite up to par, but.
Yeah. Can you give us an example, or?
Can I?
All right, this one don't even seem like it has Andrew in it, so I'm gonna end it with this. I'm gonna end it with this. So your number one argument is age gap, but your position is you're going to do more research about it to see, how that goes, etc.
Absolutely, and this is a really good place to end this because what was just said, I think. When we started this, my opinion was like, I think women maybe do have less rights. But now when I think about like the specifics of what we're saying, like maybe not necessarily rights, because obviously by law we're in a place today in a time where everybody's basically got equal rights. If not, like it's just not acceptable. You know what I mean? When it comes to gender.
Finally, we winning the feminists over, even though she don't claim necessarily.
But I mean, the whole feminist thing. I support women. I really don't even know enough about the definition of feminist to really be able to say I am one. Again, another thing I'm gonna go home and educate myself on. Gotcha. But I changed my view on that. Maybe not necessarily women have less rights, but I feel like depending on the person and the world and the view, not everybody is on the same page when it comes to viewing everybody equally. Whether it comes to gender, but that doesn't mean, you know what? I learned something today. I learned something today.
Yes, bottom line, that wage gap shit is bullshit. If you just think about it logically speaking, everyone would just hire women if that was the actual case and they actually, I want to be clear with my position on this. Right. If they did exactly the same job, worked exactly the same hours, exactly the same time off, exactly the same everything, everyone would just hire women. It doesn't even make logical sense to even have that argument.
I mean, that's the thing. It's like if all that was to offer was women who needed employment, sure, I guess they'll just hire women, but like it's really just who's in need of the job and who's applying for the job. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
No, that makes perfect sense. But most men and women are going to be applying for the same jobs unless it's like labor intensive. Now, labor intensive, I would agree with that because obviously more men are going to apply for that job.
Depends on,
that's what I'm saying, labor intensive. More men are going to obviously apply for that job. So I agree with that. Awesome. All right, where can they find you?
So you can find me on Instagram. My current handle is butterfly. I keep screwing up. Butterfly Baby 95 on Instagram and TikTok.
All right. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like me, subscribe. If you want to see more videos like this, obviously you know where to find me, and I'm out. Peace.
See ya.
Woohoo!